So this morning at like 1 something, I had another thing where it was like, this was a heist. It's all a heist. Now, here's the heist. You have people who wanted to have businesses and they wanted to come off like they were special. They needed to find people who they consider or think that they're not very seen or known, and that they could steal something from them and nobody would know that they did it, because nobody would believe them if they were somebody who was bigger than the person seemingly saying this, than the person below. Now, the people who were stealing also have to work with other people so that they all think they're going to get a cut out of whatever it is that they're trying to steal. This also goes to that thing where it's like people who sit here and they're stealing something, they come up with a plan beforehand. They got to find a target. So you like, how do you have so many people that's sitting there targeting you? Why is everybody going along with this thing? Because they put stuff out online. They utilize online as a means to say they want to get to a massive amount of people to put out a narrative and stories. And because people will sit there and look up the narrative, or they'll believe the narrative based off of whatever somebody says, they'll turn the narratives and the evidence in a way, if they have evidence, because people been making up fake evidence, by the way, to support the narrative that they have. If anybody knows the person themselves, the true person that is being talked about, that person will usually say something, because they'll be like, nah, you lying, because that's not even that person. But if somebody don't really know you and they can't sit here and say nothing about you, good or bad. Now, on the opposite side, you got people who were sitting here, they wanted to come off like they were somebody special. These people, they not only utilize people doing stuff behind the scenes and people hacking and stuff like that, them stalking people and stuff, for them to take people's identity. Those people who are sitting here doing stuff, it's giving me that thing of like people sitting there looking at people for birth certificates and they from other places, and them thinking that they're gonna take somebody's identity and then come in and be like that person, but you're not supposed to know about it, and they supposed to be able to get away with it, and they've been living as you for however long in places or in a way where you would be around, where you would supposedly be around, but you're not around. So it's like, how would somebody know something about you if you wasn't out there doing a lot of stuff? Only the people who was around you would be able to sit there to say anything about you. But if you're isolated from a bunch of people, then nobody could sit here and say anything about what it is that you was doing or wasn't doing, because these people are trying to steal something. Whatever they trying to steal has to be worth something. So this is where the people stealing people's trust funds and inheritances, people putting loans in people's names, and people doing stuff that has to do with pretty much fraud, and then people stealing and doing stuff in such a way where they get so many other people who come in and be like, this is what you do, this is what you do, this is what you do. Why is this? Because in 23, I said I seen these websites that people were sitting here, they was putting people's information onto the sites, and these people were gathering together, and they was like, this is what they could do, this is what you could do, that what you could do, and they was using forums to do it. They put people's names in there and they say something about somebody, and these people would sit there and be like, I hate people like that, and then they would go and they'll do something. And I told people about this then. When you sit there and you are saying something to somebody about the things that you know, they be like, how you know that they know? Because they are the ones that's probably doing it, or they're aware of the fact that these things are being done. How does somebody sit here and be like somebody's doing something? The people who sit in here trying to put you in something are the ones that are the closest to you, because they can't come at you one-on-one. They're going to try to come at you with a group of people. But if they want a lot of people to be mad at you about something, then they're going to utilize things that they know about you or they could assume about you to sit here to get people on their side so that they would believe the narrative that they putting out. It's like saying, if somebody said that you was a bad person, and they was like, well, how are they a bad person? Because it's too broad of a thing to say somebody was a bad person. So then they would have to say something that would be believable for somebody to believe that whatever it is that was said would be something that somebody else would be like, they don't like this as a thing. So then they too would go forward with the belief that somebody was a thing. So then once they have somebody on their belief of going along with it, then whoever those people are, who they're going along with the belief, are those people with the resources that they utilizing to get whatever it is they need done for the heist. It's kind of like, I was thinking Ocean's 11. Is that the one with the cars? They had the drivers. They needed a bunch of drivers to be able to pull off the thing for them to put the gold in the car. And they was thinking they was going to ride off, but nobody was going to do it. See, that's the thing about people who be sitting there looking at heists. A lot of people, when they looking at doing some sort of a heist, they don't never be sitting there thinking that either they being watched, of which they sitting there looking for every angle. So then they looking for people who come at stuff from different angles. And these people, they look at stuff by looking at TV. They watch movies and TV shows, and they figure out or try to figure out what is it that's the new thing. Now, because everybody knows that they don't put everything in movies and TV, but they put a lot, they also get people who's in things to be involved in it. That's why they got the inside man that comes into helping them do the heist. Because everything is always about the money. But they want to get away with it after they've done it. So then they sit there and they need somebody to go along with whatever it is. That's why if it's a long haul thing, somebody living like somebody else to come off and be like, this is how somebody is. So that person will sit there and be like, well, I don't know anything about it. Or this is what they was doing. Even if that person wasn't even there. It's like somebody living a double life. But you ain't living a double life. It's just somebody stole your identity and they're acting as you. How does somebody sit there and be feeling like they're getting in on something? Because why? I said I pick up on stuff and it's like, oh, okay, I see this. This is the next thing that somebody's trying to do. But they're all sitting there as heists. Now, I also found when it comes to stuff where you talk about people doing something, their intent is to blackmail you. Not the person that's the target, though that's the people who's all around sitting there looking to see that that's the person that they want to get as said target to be blackmailed and said extort. The people who are getting blackmailed and extorted are those who come into it. Because why? They all want to save themselves. Everybody who wants to save themselves will do what they can as best as they can to get themselves out of whatever it is that they could try to get out of, because they don't want to get caught for what it is that they've done or participated in. So then if those people are sitting here and they want to go for certain types of people, then they're going to look for those people who will do anything to not get caught. They'll go for the people who are the hackers, the trackers. They go for people in law enforcement. They're going to go for people who's going to be in jail things. Anything that could go the long way for them to have people sitting here getting involved in something. And then if they really want to go somewhere with it, then what are they going to do? They're going to go for people who've already done said heist before. People who have had experience in it. And those people who've had experience in it is going to tell them, especially if they got caught, what they would need to not get caught, or what they would do differently if. Now, I picked up on somebody who they are wannabe, who want to be like wannabes. The wannabe is giving me the person from Alex Cross. Alex Cross, the guy who wanted to be, he was a serial killer mocking serial killers. Somebody who wanted to be special. His claim to fame was going to be that he was the person that kidnapped the people who looked like the people who were killing people. And he killed those people to make them look like the killer people, the serial killers. And he had a book. And then what did he do? He said, you ain't even going to be known. I feel the same way about not talking about people who do something because they want to be known. And they make up stuff. But see, what do? You use their shit against them. The stuff that they talked about is those very points that you're talking about doing. It's kind of like me saying, and I'm waiting for this. The people who sat here and they came up with the fake evidence and the narrative, they're going to show fake evidence and narratives. Why? Because they already hacked my shit, and I'm waiting for you to put it out. I'm waiting for the person to put out something from OfferUp. I'm waiting for somebody to put out something about dating sites. I'm waiting for somebody to sit there and put out stuff about stuff that has to do with Muslims or something about different countries, as well as something that's like maybe terroristy stuff, and anything that has to do with something controversial where they have me involved in it, because I don't do any of those things. If anybody knows me, they know that I literally was just sitting there for the longest time watching kitten videos, and was like Kitten Academy, Girl with a Dog, crafting videos and stuff like that. I said this years ago. I await the videos and the information that I need, because these are the people who I'm coming for when I sue them. I'm just saying, this goes towards the heist. In 23, it was, she's too pure. She don't do nothing. She's boring. Everybody kept saying, she's boring. She don't do nothing. So then they have to fake and make up stuff to make you be not boring. And then anybody who's like you, they will sit there and they be like, oh, well, those people, they don't do nothing. They need to have them look a certain way. Especially with, if you look at it, I'm going to expand your mind. I'm going to give you a view of something. The people who are sitting here and they starting this thing, they got backed by someone or some people who will see something happening another way. If somebody wanted to sit here and they wanted to corner the market about something, or they wanted to have a certain type of narrative to be put in place because of something that they got going on, they would have people to back them. Those people, they want those people involved. This would be those people who would be like, oh, you're going to be making changes going on in the future. Those people, they want them involved in it. They got to get them involved in it somehow by having them in the blackmail controversial thing, so that those people will definitely play their role when their time comes, because that's the whole point of them doing the heist. But see, who are they robbing, really? They think they robbing people. No. You robbing the players. You robbing, when they start going after people who are anointed people and people who are spiritual leaders and stuff like that, it's because they wanted to make a war between religion and spirituality. Is there a war between religion and spirituality, or are people trying to cause a war between religion and spirituality? How far different and off is it between somebody being religious and spiritual? That is a personal thing, but it's like you would sit there and you would have conversations with somebody who's spiritual, have a conversation with somebody who's religious, and then you yourself as a regular, a person that actually thinks, you would sit there and you would start putting two and two together. But I leave that for you to see that for yourself. But where is the argument? What do they start doing? If they want to have a fight or something going on in the future, then they start planting people around so that they start bringing up arguments and stuff that would have people having to have debates about, or open themselves up to debates about those types of things they know are going to come in the future, because it's already a turning point. I said a long time ago, DMDFs, detox. Why? Because they were sitting here and they was coming for y'all in many different ways, but they was trying to mess with your energy, mess with your bodies. They was sitting here and they was doing stuff where it was like whatever toxins that you had, it's like they was trying to attach to these toxins that you could have in your body and your mind and whatever. It's like people have to go. They gotta go. People being weird and shit, they showcasing you, they showing you at the time these people can't be around you. It's like, let them go, leave them alone, because those people, those are also people who are, why you act like that, people. It's like you got this pull, you like, I don't know why I can't be around you, but it's like something about you I can't be around, especially as your thing is changing. You like, yo, why? Because those people was planning to be around you, or is it because you changing? Those two things could be true at the same time. But you got to be the one to see that for yourself. When they sitting here and they doing stuff, it's like, what happens when people start having debates about stuff? When you start talking about things, if you are somebody who's going to be speaking about it, because not everybody's going to be speaking about this. Not everybody has an opinion about this. And it doesn't even mean that you're going to be sitting there being put into it. But people use you as the subject in their debates. They want to sit here and bring up stuff about how people who are religious live and how people who are spiritual live, and what people would do if they were sitting here doing this or that, if they were perfect or if they were not. What type of lifestyle do they live? What kind of religious based factors and following and principles do they follow? What kind of this is this? What kind of that is that? And then they sit here and they got all these things, because later on they're going to use all this data. It's all data. And they're showcasing and using it, pushing it around you. But those people who you have around you, who you already know is toxic, those are the ones that's going to sit there and tell your secrets, if they are considered secrets, to somebody to be able to use against you. I seen earlier today, it's like sitting in you're at a debate and somebody's sitting here, they acting like they want to ask you questions and talk about what happened to you and blah blah blah, but in reality they sitting here with a whole bunch of little notes where they want to sit here and throw stuff at you so that they could catch you off guard in front of a TV prompter, a television prompter, or be on TV and stuff like that. And it's like, I thought we were talking about this, but y'all coming at me with this. What do you mean? Because they have part of the agenda that they gonna want to put out there about people who are a certain way, and this is also gonna go towards them being able to say or try to corner markets where it has to do with it's like, how do people sit here and they say, how does someone be how they are, when they said that this is how they wanted people to be, this is how they've been for how long? They want people to live a certain lifestyle and be a certain way, and everybody don't live the same lifestyle and is the same way, but yet people are different and they are the same. They're different and yet they are the same, because they were supposed to be how they are, not how everybody else is. Now, the heists, they get people to go along with whatever agenda they got going on, because people are gonna go with how they live their life. Which side makes more sense to them based off of how they live their life? People who are sitting there being free, look at what they're doing now with here, where they talking about Democrats and Republicans fighting. Oh, you sit here, you live your life like this. Oh, you sit here, live your life like that. But yet, look at when and how they're sitting there attacking each other. You see one side sitting there acting like they have some sort of coup. The other ones, they sitting there, they talking, and it's always attack, 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 attack. How is it all of a sudden you feel so comfortable with attacking? Before you would sit here, you would actually be on the same side as those people, but now you sitting there, it's like you feel emboldened to sit there to go against them. Why is that? Because you setting something up. How much stuff is getting hidden and getting dismantled or thrown away or something like that because of the stuff that people are doing and nobody's paying attention to it? How many laws are sitting here getting pushed and stuff, and people are getting, you're so in your mind over them talking about this shit here that you're not sitting here looking at what is it that they really doing that you're not paying attention to until it hits you, and then you can't do nothing about it. This is just talking about how you looking at something and you're not seeing that you got this person with this rabbit in their hat, but in their hand over here they sitting here with the what is it, the bird or the handkerchief, and they sitting here, they about to do something else, and it's gonna put it in front of your face, and then whatever it is you was looking at is something else there, and then by the time you realize something, they already done did something else, stealing something. But they gotta plant shit in places for them to have people to be looking at something a certain way, and they want people who will go along with whatever plan they'll have, because those people, they'll be able to puppet them. How many times do you sit there and be like, something is going on, and while you're sitting there going along with whatever something is, it's like you being targeted and being looked at as something, and this could be somebody else trying to sit here and be like, oh, this is why it's controversy, because those people are feeding off of controversy. Everybody sits to talk about TV, but yet TV news cycle people, what are they feeding people? Controversy. You can't really sit here and say that those people who are on podcasts is worse, because at least the people on TV, when they do something, they get taxed for the stuff that they do. People be on podcasts and talking and stuff, and they sit here and they be like, they can say whatever they want, talking about they got the right to. Where you think you got the right to say something about somebody and not get caught for slander? Where you think you can sit there and put stuff out there for people and have them dox and shit and use their image or their name or whatever and sit here and think that you was gonna be okay? I don't care where you talking, where you like somebody sit there put something out there, but you done ran a narrative and stuff, and then you looking for evidence for somebody to sit here to support your narrative because you don't like somebody, and then when somebody sits here and brings something up that they fabricated themselves or they may have found, you sit here and feel like you won't get sued for the stuff that you've done because you're trying to steal shit. You ain't gonna steal somebody's reputation. Theft comes in many ways. They try to slander somebody's character. They try to slander somebody's reputation. They try to steal people's money and stuff. All these different things that you sit here, you have people talking about, and they truth speakers telling you the truth about things. And now all of a sudden, it's like they try to go for the truth teller, try to intimidate them, doing all kinds of stuff so that people don't sit here and be listening to the fact that you telling them something that they need to be aware of. But everybody else is like, no, no, no. They gonna mess with the plan that they got going on, and they want chaos and controversy to be reigning because that's going to bring them money. everybody who's sitting here and they talk about, oh, well, I know that this, I know that. Everybody who's sitting here doing stuff is not sitting here doing stuff and coming from a genuine place when they're saying it to you, or doing something from a place of when they're telling you this stuff, it's coming from and for a good purpose and reason for future reference that you're going to have to know, because it's going to save you a whole lot of trouble. People sit here and they listen to people, or they be thinking they talking to this particular people who sit here and be stealing stuff from other people, trying to figure out why you talking to this person and this person is making you feel or putting you in something that's like horrible, because the person is sitting there as the plant. But those people who be sitting there planted to do stuff as well, who they stealing from? How is it all of a sudden people sitting here stealing people's platforms and their information? They want to come off like other people. The people who are a certain way, they sitting here trying to be like, oh, well, they've been copying them. They steal your information. They steal your work and whatever. And then they sit here and all of a sudden you got people who's like you coming out being and doing stuff like you. But there's only one you. And then they get people to sit here and, like I said, it goes towards the heist. They sit here and they buying subscribers, buying people to be following these people. And then you sit here and you thinking, oh, well, this person has so many different views. They have so many different subscribers. They have all these different things. Let me listen to this person versus listen to that person, the person that you may listen to. But then at the same time, people who starting off, and you sitting here, you can have something, you coming up with whatever you're talking about. Don't get specific talking about people, especially people who are higher people, unless you for a fact know that you're going against somebody who is a target that you should be targeting. I say this again. Everybody is not a target. And you sit here, y'all just start choosing and deciding you're going to go against certain people who you know for a fact you shouldn't be. But because it's like their name means something on whatever platform they're on, you decide to put their name in something, and their face in something, or their image in something, whatever, however it goes, so that you could get an up in something. Have some respect. Because everybody did not sit here and go buy subscribers. Everybody didn't sit here and go and get somebody to go do some fake stuff so that they could sit here and come off like there's something. They actually been through stuff when they talking about what they talking about, or they're using their gifts and abilities and talents to be doing what they're doing. I'm saying this as somebody who has had people do this to me. And those people, they already knowing they're going to get sued. So it's like, yo, do it if you want to. People sit here and they think that it's funny to sit here and mess with people's lives. I said this many times. Why? Because people think that it's funny to mess with people's lives. And these are the people who sit here and they watch TV. And they be on social media all day, every day. And they think entertainment is reality and reality is entertainment. And what are they doing? They stealing shit. That's what you're doing when you do stuff like that. You're stealing shit. So it's like, yo, be aware. Go back to what I was talking about with the heist, though. They really trying to steal stuff from those people who were supposed to be getting stuff. And they were supposed to be getting stuff a long time ago. Certain people were supposed to have changes in their life that they didn't happen because people were sitting there. They were all signing up for this same thing. And it was like, if they went along with this narrative or these beliefs of whatever, that these things would not change. But in reality, it's like they are changing. It's just that now you got those people who were supposed to be found are being found because of the stuff that they've done. You showing the holes of where it's like this places that's leaking. All the stuff that is a thing. It's like, yo, how is it that people are getting information they shouldn't be having? Leaks in departments, leaks in certain systems, people sitting here hacking people so they could sit here that they could do things and make it look like, because they trying to cover up shit because they don't want to get hit with the lawsuit. How many people are sitting here and they finding out that they ended up having a suit against a hospital or something because of, or a company because of them sitting there putting something in their product, and now you getting sick, or you got sick off of it. I'm just talking about baby powder. And I say baby powder not because I'm just naming this particular baby powder, but I'm saying what kind of stuff they put inside of powders that when it gets into your system and stuff, you have a problem. So then what did they do as something else? It's like, just think about what it is that someone's got you looking at and or doing, and then think about why they all of a sudden have people doing certain things. It's like, why is you looking at this? What's going on over here? And you point that out. I said years ago when they were sitting there doing something, and I was like, yo, these people don't even realize that they're about to sell your personal information from you being in your house online to companies and shit, and they're gonna make mad money. And they did. When I was like, they sitting here, they about to do something with the dollar bill, and they sitting here talking about, oh, the money is old. People sitting here buying gold and silver. They like, they gonna stop the dollar. They want everybody to go crypto. Crypto people sitting here buying. They get it in their name, and then they selling it off, and they robbing the people who they got supporting them by having crypto stuff going on. And it's like, yo, how many people that sat here talked about how they lost this, they lost that because of crypto? Everybody's sitting here all of a sudden. They like, this is in my name, that is in my name. All these different things they advertising to go to people who have a lot of stuff. What are they doing? AI, all this, all that, all these different things. It's like, yo, if you see it, you see it. I might not even, like, it be heists. And then people sitting here, they like, oh, well, you supposed to be dead by a certain time, so nobody will ever know, and you still walking around and alive. And they like, you said they was gonna be dead. You said they wasn't gonna be here. You said this, you said that. Liars.